Alright guys, I am back with my review recap of tonight's Monday Night Raw for February 20th, 2012 in Minneapolis. Pretty decent Raw tonight. They had some good promos. It was just really a recap of Elimination Chamber, and they set up some stuff for WrestleMania tonight. So overall it was pretty good. They're going to start the full build towards Mania now, and they got a lot of stuff set up already, so now it's just the build, and they said they had 41 weeks to build to it, or 41 days, I'm sorry, to build to it, and it should be pretty exciting Raws from here on out. I know Rock's scheduled to be at next week's Raw, and he's scheduled for a few more appearances building up to Mania. I don't know if he's scheduled for every Raw, but I'm sure he'll at least do some promo videos or whatever, and I'm pretty excited for it. So hopefully they can keep this momentum going and follow through with it. But on to Raw. It starts off with a backstage segment by Eve Torres, and she's talking to the Bella Twins, and she immediately turns heel. She says she doesn't care about Zack Ryder. She's hooked the big fish, which is John Cena, and that's her meal ticket basically. The Bella Twins, who are supposed to be heels, are even freaked out by this behavior. And then she turns to walk away, and Eve walks right into Cena. He heard the whole thing. He just walks away, and he comes down to the ring. And before he can say anything, Eve comes out crying, and she says she just wants a chance to explain. Cena says she's been sipping the skank juice and wants to use her assets to further her career. He says he lost a broski for a hoski. The fans start to chant hoski. He says she should hold out for the big fish next week, which is The Rock. He says they both use people and are scandalous bitches. Eve starts crying, and then she tries to kiss him, and he's like holding back, like he doesn't want to touch her at all. The officials come in and basically take Eve out of there. She's let out, she's crying. Don't really know what they're going to do with Eve from here on out. Maybe if only we saw this and Cena didn't, they could have done something, but they're too busy with WrestleMania. They don't have time for this. So I think that's just a way to write Eve off for a while. I don't know. We'll have to see what they have planned for her, but Cena was really good here. Cena was actually good all night. He didn't wrestle, but he did cut some good promos, so I gotta give him credit. I mean, I'm not a huge Cena fan, but when the guy does good promos and does good stuff, I will definitely admit he did some good stuff. They show the Taker promo for where he's sitting in the chair and him cutting his hair and all the stuff that he's been doing. They announced that SmackDown is live tomorrow, and it's going to be CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan again, which should be awesome. If you missed the first match these guys had, it was really, really good. So I would definitely try to check out SmackDown tomorrow night to see this. Sheamus comes out. They announced that Sheamus will be facing Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania, so I guess he decided to go after that belt. I thought it was obvious. He's a SmackDown guy. Daniel Bryan's a SmackDown guy. Usually always ends up that way. So I wasn't really surprised, but they did announce the match. Sheamus wrestles Mark Henry. It was okay. He wins with a brogue kick. Backstage, we see David Otunga and John Laurinaitis. Laurinaitis says that nobody's talking about the matches at the Elimination Chamber. They're talking about him, Mr. Excitement. So Teddy comes in. Laurinaitis tells him he didn't know Del Rio, Mark Henry, and Christian were going to be there supporting him. Teddy says that he wants the universe to decide who should be the general manager for Raw and SmackDown. John Laurinaitis says he doesn't care about the universe. He only cares about the board of directors. He talks about how he has a battle royal set up tonight to see who faces Punk at Mania for the #1 contendership. It's going to be 5 guys from Raw, 5 guys from SmackDown. Teddy kind of makes fun of him a little bit. Laurinaitis says Otunga will face anyone you pick from the SmackDown roster tonight. So They show some more promos with Taker and Triple H. They're using Metallica's Memory Remains song to build this feud up. They go to the next match, which is R-Truth and Kofi Kingston versus Primo and Epico. I'm sure Kofi Kingston is hoping they don't put him in another tag team. Especially since Evan Bourne was suspended twice now. And it's been for the same stuff that R-Truth was suspended for. So if they're going to put him with a tag partner, I bet Kofi Kingston is like, please God, don't let them put me in another tag team partner, especially with someone who was suspended for the same stuff Evan Bourne was suspended for. But anyways, they have a decent tag team match. Kofi wins with Trouble in Paradise, so they essentially beat the tag team champions. I don't know. I think they may be trying to put him in another tag team here. They show a promo with Ron Simmons going into the Hall of Fame. He's going to be in with Edge, Mike Tyson, and the Four Horsemen. I thought it was a good choice. Ron Simmons is awesome. They show a lot of his WCW career. Then they show him with the Acolytes. They didn't show him when he was wearing that blue suit with the silver helmet. I don't know if anybody else remembers that. He was feuding with Ahmed Johnson. I think Sonny was his valet. But they did show a lot of his WCW career. They show the Raw Chamber from last night with Jericho getting hurt. Backstage, Chris Jericho tells Josh Matthews he wasn't eliminated because he got a cheap shot by Punk. Says, what kind of champion is he? Chris Jericho says, I'm the best in the world at everything I do. I believe that with every fiber in my being. Says tonight's going to be the end of the world as you know it. And he's going to win the Battle Royal. I don't know if anybody else feels this way, but I think Jericho's return has just been kind of disappointing. I'm glad he's there. I think he's great, but it's just been a little, I don't know, it's just disappointing to me. I've kind of felt let down by it somewhat. I thought he was going to win the Royal Rumble. He said at the Royal Rumble, it's going to be the end of the world as you know it. Everybody expected huge things to happen. And when he lost to Sheamus, which I heard was only because Vince thought everybody already expected Jericho to win, so he wanted to swerve the fans. If that's the case, I think it really took away a lot of Jericho's steam, and it hasn't recovered. I personally don't think he's going to be around after Mania. I think he's there. He's going to challenge Punk at Mania, and he's going to lose, and then he's going to be gone and go record with Fozzy. So this entire thing has kind of let me down. Like I said, I'm glad he's there. I love Chris Jericho. He's great, but it's just this whole huge return, the promos they cut about the end of the world and the little girl and the kid in the classroom. It's never been addressed, and it's just a lot of stuff hasn't happened with this that should have happened. It should have been better than it is. Laurinaitis comes out with David Otunga. Teddy Long comes out with Ezekiel Jackson. Otunga beats Ezekiel Jackson with the pickup spine buster he's been using, and he beats him clean. So as soon as Otunga came out, and then I saw Ezekiel Jackson come out, I thought to myself, Otunga's going to win his first match. Ezekiel Jackson lost to Jinder Mahal on SmackDown last week. Ezekiel Jackson's not very high up on the card. So as soon as I saw it was Ezekiel Jackson, I thought, Otunga's going to win. He's finally going to get a win. And they recap HBK and Triple H promo from last week. Then we have The Undertaker come out. He's wearing a hood. They don't show his new hairstyle or lack thereof. He goes on to cut a promo, and he actually gets the what chant. There's some guy in the crowd who's really loud. There's actually a few of them who were just yelling stuff at The Undertaker, like, you suck, you're overrated, and it's really loud. I thought it just took away from the promo. I don't know if it flustered The Undertaker or what, but he says he's been thinking for a year about what happened in Mania. He says it's been a hell of uncertainty. He challenged Triple H to the match at Mania, but didn't expect him to say no. He says it's come to an end, and they are on the verge of an apocalypse for their era of wrestling. And that him and Triple H are the last of their kind. Says the suit Triple H wears are just layers covering who he really is. Says he can lie to Shawn Michaels, he can lie to everyone else, but he can't lie to him. So he calls Triple H out to come look him in the eyes. He says it's bigger than both of us, and it's an apocalypse. So Triple H comes out. Triple H gets the what chant too. And he says he looked Taker in the eyes last week, but then Taker says, "Shut up." Taker says you can save your pity. What's really pitiful is your excuses. Triple H says that it's the end of an era, but their fate isn't to end it. It's to make sure it carries on. Taker's fate is to be the leader for the next generation and to carry the torch, and Triple H does not want to be the one to extinguish the flame. It's bad for business. Taker asks if it's bad for business if he's gone or if Triple H is gone. So Triple H says that Undertaker's not looking for redemption or for vengeance. He wants an end. And Triple H says he knows he has to finish him, and that's what Taker really wants. He says that he won't be the one to finish it, and he goes to walk out of the ring. Taker says at the end of the day, when you look in the mirror, you're just going to see a coward. So Triple H comes in, he's all pissed off. He says, "I'm sick of this coward thing." But then he calms down, and he says, "No again," and he walks up the ramp. So Taker says, maybe since Shawn Michaels couldn't do it, you know you can't because Shawn was always better than you. So Triple H goes back in the ring and he says it's not about Shawn and he knows he can get the job done. He eventually accepts the challenge and he says only if they go all out, go all the way, and only in a Hell in a Cell, which gets a huge pop from the crowd. Taker pats him on the shoulder, he leaves to Metallica's Memory Remains, and he smiles on his way out. This was great. I like the fact they're going to do the Hell in a Cell. I think it's going to be cool. The only problem is if they save the Hell in a Cell for special occasions like this, it would mean so much more. If they didn't have a pay-per-view where they just did it for the hell of it, then it would mean so much more for this match. I know last year at WrestleMania they're not supposed to do the chair shots to the head, and Triple H and Taker did that. And I think at this year they may have some accidental blood. I think there's going to be blading at this year's Mania, and I think they're going to say it was an accident, or WWE's going to say it was an accident, or whatever they have to say. But I think that for the Taker's last match, in a cell match, they're going to go nuts. It's going to be violent, it's going to be brutal, and I think there will be some blood. Daniel Bryan comes out. He says he's everyone's role model, and he beat 5 Men at the Chamber, and he's still the champion. Santino comes out to have a quick match. Santino taps to the LaBelle lock. They have a Divas match with the Bellas versus Kelly and Oksana. The Bellas beat Oksana with a face buster after doing the twin magic. That was it. I expected Karma to come out. I keep expecting Karma for all these segments, and she never shows up. So, I don't know. I really thought this would have been a good time. Maybe she destroys some people. But like I said earlier, they have 41 days till WrestleMania. They still have a lot of time to build to Karma versus Beth Phoenix. Cena comes out, and he cuts a hell of a promo here. He talks about The Rock being there next week and how he's never around, he's not a people's champion anymore, and he says he doesn't respect him. He talks about how he's always around to promote his movies and his Twitter. That's the only reason he comes to Raw. Cena jokes about his own movies. He says there's not going to be a reunion 2. People who saw 12 rounds said it should have gone only 3 rounds tops. It was pretty good. He says that the one thing I'm proud of through all this bullshit is that I never left, and I always show up. The Rock left as soon as he got a taste of the movies. Cena says, I'm fighting for everyone behind the curtain who dreams of being a superstar and staying a WWE superstar. And he says, I'm fighting for all those who say I'm proud to be a sorry professional wrestler. Because, I don't know if any of you know, but WWE has a list of banned words that for whatever insane, crazy reason Vince McMahon has, they do not want people to use the word wrestling. The WWE is ashamed of being a wrestling company. They don't even want the guys using the word wrestling. And CM Punk's made note of this before, and Cena did tonight. So it's absurd, but it helped the promo, I thought. He says The Rock can't beat him, and we'll have to kill him to beat him. And then he says, "See you next week, movie star," and he drops the mic. It was a great promo. I got to give him credit for this. This was good. Next week with The Rock should be awesome. So they go to the Battle Royal. CM Punk comes out to do commentary, and whoever wins the Battle Royal goes on to face Punk at Mania for the #1 contender. The Battle Royal consists of Big Show, the Great Khali, God knows why, Chris Jericho, Cody Rhodes, Wade Barrett, R-Truth, Dolph Ziggler, The Miz, Kofi Kingston, and Santino. Dolph comes out. He's wearing a pink shirt around his waist that says it's not showing off, and he wears this the entire Battle Royal. Khali gets eliminated first. That was a good decision. At one point, Big Show tosses Dolph Ziggler onto Wade Barrett and R-Truth on the outside because they were previously eliminated. And they catch Dolph Ziggler. And Wade Barrett, I knew something was wrong with him. He immediately starts pounding on the mat and screaming. I think he was cursing too when they censored it. And I knew instantly, this guy's arm is hurt. And sure enough, apparently Wade Barrett was taken to the hospital and has a dislocated elbow, is what they're saying right now. A lot of the other guys were beat up, but no one was really severely injured. But Wade Barrett, God, it sucks. I really like Wade Barrett. He was getting kind of a push at the Chamber last night. It was down to him, Daniel Bryan, and Santino. And this really just sucks for him. He's probably going to have to be gone for a while and lose some of his heat. And it just really sucks. He may even miss a WrestleMania payday. So I feel really bad for the guy. But Jericho eventually eliminates the Big Show. Big Show eliminates Cody Rhodes, and then Jericho has him in a headlock. And it's kind of like Chris Benoit did to Big Show to win the Royal Rumble. And he eventually pulls Big Show over, and then Cody Rhodes comes back and helps Jericho win. So Jericho does win. Punk comes in the ring, tries to shake his hand. Chris Jericho just walks away. And he's walking back around the announce table, I guess to get his jacket. And you can see him ask the referee what happened to Wade. Like, you can read his lips and see that. It was bad. I mean, they had a lot of officials out there. They had a stretcher to get Wade Barrett. I was afraid the guy broke his arm. I don't know, dislocated elbow, how long that's going to take him to recover from, but hopefully not very long at all, because I really do like Wade Barrett. So that was your Monday Night Raw review. Taker versus Triple H, Hell in a Cell. We have Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan, and we got CM Punk versus Chris Jericho. No big surprises, but the matches are announced now. So now they're going to start the official build. And I will be back tomorrow night doing SmackDown review with CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan. That should be an awesome match. So I hope you guys check that out too. Subscribe to my channel. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed. Leave me some comments, and thanks for listening. Bye.